कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमो महावदनाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्नि गौरात्वेषे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Dear fortunate souls doing Bhakti Shastri with VIHE, we are discussing Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu of Srila Rupa Goswami, which Srila Prabhupada has produced as Nectar of Devotion. And we are in the first wave, the Samanya Bhakti, and we are in chapter 1, where 6 characteristics of Bhakti are under discussion. Yesterday we have completed 2 characteristics. The Kleshagni means pure devotional service, destroy all suffering. And the second characteristic or quality of pure devotional service is Shubhada, Shubh Pradatva, or pure devotional service produce all auspiciousness. So, in the last part, in our book, there is a separate heading, Happiness of Pure Devotional Service. Actually, this is the number 4 item of Shubhada. Shubhada has 4 subheadings. The 4th one is happiness of devotional service. That surpasses the happiness of the fruitive worker, this happiness of the one who merge into the Brahma of the Jnanis, and happiness of the yogis with all different perfections or siddhis, because they are temporary. But the happiness of devotional service is superior because it is eternal. And in that last part, this portion, the 2 paragraph, Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya, this one Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya, and the next one where there is a description of Sridhar Kolavach. These both can be used for producing all happiness as well as for the third characteristic of pure devotional service. The pure devotional service makes liberation insignificant. So, since Srila Prabhupada has not actually given any heading in this regard, so in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, this is in actually happiness. This section is in a happiness of devotional service. under the heading Sukha Pradatvam. But since the words are similar, because moksha is included in this, so this is also can be included in the third quality as well. So still, as per Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we are counting it as happiness in Krishna consciousness. O Lord of the Devas, I again pray to you, Prahlad Maharaj says to Narsingadev, that I may have firm devotion to you. That bhakti is a creeper which bestow artha, dharma, kam and moksha, which means religiosity, economical development, sense gratification and liberation, and also the happiness of realization of the Lord. So the word sukhada is here. So this is included, this paragraph is included in our happiness of the Shubhada are all auspicious. And then Srila Prabhupada has actually commented on this verse. That is the next paragraph 3. Oh, sorry, this actually, a pure devotee does not aspire after any of these perfections. This is, you open our book and see, this is actually. Because the happiness derived from devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited that no other happiness can compare to it. It is said that even a drop of happiness in Krishna consciousness stands beyond comparison with an ocean of happiness derived from any other activity. Thus, any person who has developed even a little quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all other kinds of happiness derived from religiosity, economical development, sense gratification and liberation. And then Srila Prabhupada gave the example in the next paragraph of Kolavach Sridhar, and then Srila Prabhupada wrote the small history of Sridhar Kolavach, that he was a poor selling the leaves cup, and whatever bigger income he has, he used to use half for the service of the Mother Ganga. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a Prakash Leela, asked Sridhar that you ask any benediction, he said, I don't need any benediction, I simply want to serve you life after life. So that is the position of pure devotee. He was quite happy in present position and wanted only to gain unflinching faith and devotion onto the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this portion is included in a happiness derived, a proof for happiness derived from devotional service as a fourth item of Shubhada or all auspiciousness. And then we have actually the third quality which we will discuss now. The third quality is moksha laghuta krita, makes liberation even insignificant. And for that we have in our book, in Narada Pancharatra, it is said that a person has developed even a small amount of devotional service, doesn't care a fig for any kind of happiness derived from religiosity, economical development and sense gratification and liberation, are the five kind of liberation. You don't need anything. Any kind of happiness derived from religiosity, economical development, liberation and sense gratification cannot even dare to enter into the heart of a pure devotee. So this is the from Narada Pancharatra, which is the verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. manageva pararudhayam hirdaye bhagavadaratau purusharastu chatvarastraniyante samantatah. This is the verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu which Srila Prabhupada has quoted here. When even a little attraction for the Lord grows in the heart, the four objects of human attainment, artha, dharma, kam and moksha, become like a grass, which Srila Prabhupada writes, fig, shameful to appear before bhakti. So this is the evidence for bhakti, that pure devotional service makes liberation insignificant. This is the first quote, and the next quote is also from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which says, Hari Bhakti Mahadevya Sarva Muktae Adi Siddhya Bhuktyascha Bhutastasyas Chetikavad Anovartaha. What actually it means? All siddhis headed by liberation and all astonishing material pleasure follow after the great goddess called Hari Bhakti, like fearful maid servants. So these are the only two quotations for the third item. So now you read in our book further. It is stated that the personal attendant and maid servant of the queen follow the queen with all respect and obeisances. Similarly, the joy of religiosity, economical development, sense gratification, liberation follow the devotional service of the Lord. In other words, pure, what is in other words? Yes, in other words, a pure devotee does not lack any kind of happiness derived from any source. He does not want anything but serve to Krishna. But even if he should have another desire, the Lord fulfills without devotees asking. So these are the two quotes only for the third item, Moksha Laghuta Kirta. But the previous two can also be included in this. So in our slides which are given to you, Moksha Laghuta Kirta, pure devotional service makes liberation insignificant. So it includes the first one is the four attainment of religious, economic, development, sense gratification, liberation cannot compare even to the drop of happiness in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, devotee reject this. This is a Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya. And then there is a exemplar Sridhar Kolavach. And then there is a Pancharatra, all joy of religious, economic, development, sense gratification, liberation follow the devotional service of Lord as maid servant follow queen. So this is all. So all these four actually. So because there is no heading in our book separately for item number 3, therefore from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the original text from which Srila Prabhupada has made this summary study as a nectar of devotion, we can have these two quotations which are in our book from Narada Pancharatra and the next one. And as well, if we want, we can give the example of Sridhar Kolavach in this section also, and also in the auspiciousness as a happiness, as a fourth item of auspiciousness. Is it okay? Now the item is there. For the item number 4, the heading is on our book. The rareness of pure devotional service. This heading is there. And two reasons for rarity of attainment of Bhav Bhakti. And these are the two reasons given in a chart here are actually the whole purport in this section. And these points are extracted for easy remembrance. So before we discuss these points, we are discussing actually what are the verses and how it is discussed. So Surdurlabha, or extremely rare, is the fourth quality of pure devotional service. And this is in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In preliminary phase of spiritual life, there are different kinds of astras, which Prabhupada writes. So the definition given is, the bhakti is difficult to attain in two ways. This is Rupa Goswami writes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Duvedha sa syat surdurlabha, because of the two reasons. If undertaken in great quantity, sadhan ogai, but without attachment, ana sangai. Bhakti cannot be attained even after a long time. And even practice with attachment, Krishna does not give bhakti to the practitioner immediately. So this is in our slide 1. Can you see in our own slides which are given to you?
Yes.
Now you can see this. One cannot attain it even if performed in great quantity but without attachment. Number 2, in other words, one must have crossed the stage of ruchi asakti. Come at 11. So this attachment or the bhav bhakti can only appear after the stage of asakti. Quote from the Tantra Shastra. So this is the quote from the Tantra Shastra, is in our book that we will read now. And if one cannot attain it merely by one's own effort, only Krishna can give it, and he will do so when one receives the mercy of a pure devotee. So these are the 4 reasons. What is the quote from Tantra Shastra? Let us read our book. In the preliminary phase of spiritual life, there are different kinds of austerities, penances and similar processes of attaining self-realization. However, even if an executor of these processes without any material desire, he still cannot achieve devotional service, which actually means bhav bhakti. And aspiring by oneself alone achieve devotional service is also not wholeful, means by his own effort he cannot get it. So 2 reasons. He may perform, so this is even performed great quantity with all austerities, without attachment. And aspiring for oneself alone is not possible, because Krishna does not agree to award devotional service to merely anyone. So he reserved the right of awarding bhav bhakti, and he only awards when some pure devotee bestow his mercy or recommend. Krishna can easily offer a person material happiness or even liberation, but he does not agree very easily to award a person engagement in devotional service. Devotional service can in fact be attained only through the mercy of a pure devotee. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij, that is the verse here. It is said, by the mercy of a spiritual master who is pure devotee, and by the mercy of Krishna one can achieve the platform of devotional service. So this is Guru Krishna Prasade. Now the reality of devotional service is also confirmed in Tantra Shastra. This is Tantra Shastra, where Lord Shiva tells to Sati, my dear Sati, if one is very fine philosopher analyzing the different processes of knowledge, He can achieve liberation from the material entanglement. Yes, he can achieve liberation, no problem. By performance of the ritualistic sacrifice recommended in the Vedas, one can be elevated to the platform of pious activity and thereby enjoy the material comfort of life in the fullest extent, which means karma kand can give you happiness even of the heaven. But all such endeavors can hardly offer anyone devotional service to the Lord, not even if one tries for it by such processes for many thousands of births. So this is the first reason till here. Now is the second reason from here onward. So again we are referring the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and then come back here. Sudurlabha, by doing all practices along through all stages, starting with Sarda, but without attaining Asakti, Bhav Bhakti cannot be attained. That is because it is stated that Rati or Bhav appears only after Asakti. However, even with all sadhana and Asakti, the Lord does not quickly give Bhav Bhakti. He does give Bhav, but after a delay. In this way, Bhav Bhakti is difficult to attain in two ways. So, this is the another verse from Tantra Shastra which just we discussed. Jnanantaha sulabha mukti, by knowledge, but Srila Prabhupada writes philosophical analysis of the knowledge, one can attain liberation. Bhukti yajna adi punyata, one can get all enjoyment by performing ritualistic sacrifices. Seyam sadhan sahasai, with thousands of other practices. Hari Bhakti Sudurlabha, it's not possible to get the Hari Bhakti. Liberation is easily attained by Jnana, and material enjoyment is easily attained by Punya, such as sacrifice. After attaining dedication to those goals by thousands of attempts, however, Bhav Bhakti to the Lord cannot be attained. If one practices thousands of different sadhana, because asakti will not appear. So this is Tantra Shastra, Lord Shiva tells to the Parvati. That's what we have discussed now. First type of rarity, explanation of first line of shloka. This is what we have in slide number 1. But even Jnana and performance of sacrifice must be done with great attachment to those goals. For without attachment, a person cannot attain either liberation or material enjoyment. Therefore, the statement that liberation and material enjoyment are easily attained should actually mean with attainment of attachment or dedication to the goal become easily attained. This dedication or attachment can be attained only after thousands of attempts, sadhan sahasrai. The meaning therefore is Jnana and Karma easily give liberation and enjoyment after attaining dedication through thousands of practices, which Srila Prabhupada writes here in the preliminary stage of life. There are different kinds of austerities and penances. That's what Srila Prabhupada has given in the beginning of the topic. It is understood that if attachment means one-pointed concentration on the process alone, then such exclusive concentration on the process, jnana or karma, is not easily attained in those processes but only after thousands of practices. These two processes, jnana and karma, not only require concentrated effort but great expertise as well. That is, they must be done properly. Otherwise, klesho adhiktar tesham avyakta sakti Bhagavad Gita. Moreover, that skill is in performance must include execution of bhakti yoga also, because without bhakti these processes will not give any result. Second line of this shlok, Hari Bhakti in this verse referred to the stage of Rati and Bhav Bhakti. Opinion 1, meaning of the word sadhan in this verse, direct service to the Lord. Then if that sadhak means direct service to the Lord performed with great attention, attained by progressing through previous stages, there should be no fear at all concerning attainment of Bhav Bhakti. Here is the first type of rarity, one slok quoted from Bhagavatam. The persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Sri Krishna manifest in their heart within a short time. So the concentration arises if meaning of the sadhana is accepted as devotional service. Meaning of the word sadhana. Anyway, this is too much. I think you don't get. These are the commentaries of Srila Jiva Goswami. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember and worship the personality of Godhead, who is protector of devotees. Therefore, this bhakti should not even be mixed with other sadhans. It has been correctly described with the word Gyan Karmadi Anavartam. So, second type of rarity. Now we are coming to the Bhagavatam verse. So what we have discussed till now is the verse which is quoted from the Tantra Shastra and explanation by Acharya. But you remember if the quotation and as Srila Prabhupada has paraphrased here and give the reasons without all practices, but if there is no attachment, number one, even if there is an attachment but there is one's own endeavor, no, not possible, then it is only by the mercy of a devotee one can get the Bhav Bhakti. Now second reason. We are reading first from our book. Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj that merely by personal effort or by instruction of a higher authorities one cannot attain the stage of devotional service. One must become blessed by the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotee who is completely free from all contamination of material desires. So this is from Bhagavatam 7th canto. This is Srila Prabhupada's own commentary on rarity of devotional service. So this is not Bhagavatam quoted by Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is Srila Prabhupada's own quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto. Swata Paratavaha. This is what Prahlad Maharaj says there. Now this is the verse which is in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th chapter, verse number 18. Rajan Pati Gurvalam Bhavatam Yadunam.
The slide is not shared.
Okay, it's not shared.
No.
Is there now?
Yes, Prabhu, it's there.
It's there.
It's the same one.
Well,
No,
this
no,
is
it's there, but
this is the verse I am reading. This is the verse I am reading. Rajan Pati Guru Alam Bhavatam Yadunam Daivam Priyakul Pati Kacha Kinkaro Va Astav Evam Angah Bhajatam Bhagavan Mukando Muktim Dadati Karachit Samna Bhakti Yogam. So, my dear king, the Supreme Person Mukanda is actually the maintainer of all the members of the Pandavas and Yadava dynasties. He is your spiritual master, worshipable deity, friend, and the director of all your activities. To say nothing of this, he sometimes serves your family as a messenger or a servant. Those engaged in getting the Lord's favor attain liberation from Lord very easily, but he does not give Bhav Bhakti at all times. So this is in our book. Let us read now in our book what is Srila Prabhupada has given us as a summary based on this book. Narada says to Yudhishthira, my dear king, it is Lord Krishna, known as Mukunda, who is the eternal protector of the Pandavas and Yadavas. He is also your spiritual master, the instructor in every respect. He is the only worshipable God for you. He is very dear and affectionate, and he is the director of all good qualities, both individual and familial. And what is more, he sometimes carries out your order as if he were your messenger. My dear king, how very fortunate you are, because for others all these favors given to you by the Supreme Lord would not even be dreamt of. The purport to this verse is that the Lord easily offers liberation, but he rarely agrees to offer soul devotional service, because devotional service the Lord himself becomes purchased by the devotee. So this is the second reason. The meaning is here, this is Jiva Goswami. Even though one executes sadhana bhakti with attachment, until the time that one produces intense asakti in that bhakti, the Lord does not give bhav bhakti. This is characterized by a phrase anabhilashita sunyam, that bhakti should be completely devoid of all desires. He hardly ever gives bhav bhakti, bhakti yogam, to others, even though they worship him. However, let him give despicable liberation for those who worship him for that purpose. Nevertheless, he certainly gives bhakti to the pure devotee who do not desire liberation. This is not mentioned directly but implied by the word karachit api, not at all times. So this much is in a Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Now we are going back to our slide. Make a summary which is easy for us to remember. Second reason, the Lord is reluctant to give his bhakti, this bhakti immediately, even if it is performed with attachment. The reason for this reluctance is that Krishna becomes controlled by pure devotional service. And then for the proof are evidence given by the quote from 5:6:18. So what is in our book, that is in these two slides. Two reasons for reality of pure devotional service at this stage of bhav. The first reason and second reason. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so now we are going to the item number, quality number 5. So we are crossing now Bhav Bhakti, going into the Prema Bhakti. So 5, this is Sandra. Now here this heading is not correct in our book. Happiness becoming one with Supreme is not a right heading. Happiness of becoming one with Supreme is not a drop as compared to the happiness of a pure devotional service. So this heading is not correct. Are you comfortable? In our book, this heading is not correct. Happiness of becoming one with Supreme, which means actually what we mean, merging into the Brahm, generally. So the heading you should correct actually in the book. We were having yesterday the seminar on the...
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
We have learned in the Isha Upanishad also that happiness, like one with Supreme, is like coupling your interest with the Supreme, not merging. I think you only told.
I know that
When
is
you
that,
couple,
there
you
is
couple your interest with the Supreme, that is also oneness.
well, that oneness is all right, but I think because the next Srila Rupa Goswami says Brahma Anand or happiness of the coming becoming one with the Supreme is multiplied by 1 trillion fold is still cannot compare to the atomic fraction of happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. So actually what is written here is in the next line it is not like that. Can you see the next line? Yesterday we were having a seminar on the southern side of this same Nectar of Devotion, where the facilitator, which is one of the well-known teacher and also the Shastri committee member, she was saying the Nectar of Devotion was translated by Srila Prabhupada in 69. And there were not enough English knowing devotees at that time. They can translate the exact words for the Sanskrit, which is Srila Rupa Goswami has written in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So sometime those editors were using their own understanding which were not clear by that time. So there are some words and there are even some mistakes which we will see after a couple of days. There are some printing mistakes or their understanding mistakes. Like Prabhupada said, Pitri Lok. They were not knowing word Pitri, so they thought tree. Tree. I don't know, they don't know what it means tree. Tree means tree. Tree means tree. Not Pitri. They don't understand what is Pitri. So similarly, we will see after a few days, Prabhupada has spoken in a dictaphone saintly article, and they have translated. Prabhupada has written scented articles, and they have written saintly article. The meaning is completely different. So, really speaking, happiness of becoming one with Supreme is insignificant as compared to the happiness of pure devotional service. If we have to keep this word, then we have to add the second line, because this is the verse composed by Srila Rupa Goswami himself. This is the verse by Rupa Goswami himself. Brahmanando bhaved esha chedah praradha guni kirtah naiti bhakti sukhambodeha pramano tulyam api. This is what Srila Prabhupada has translated. This is Rupa Goswami's own verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The bliss of the Brahma realization accumulated by Samadhi, lasting for half of Brahma's life, that Srila Prabhupada writes, trillion-fold, cannot compare to one drop of ocean of the happiness of Bhakti. And then Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya, that's the next verse quoted here. Tvata sakshad karanahalada vishuddha badhi stitasya me sukhani goshpadayante brahmani api jagat guru. O Guru of the universe, on seeing you directly, I am situated in a pure ocean of bliss. All happiness of impersonal Brahm is as significant as water in the hoof print of the cow. So these are the two quotes about this. And then similarly, there is a confirmed in a Bhavartha Deepika. This is the Bhavartha Deepika, which is a commentary by Sridhar Swami on Srimad Bhagavatam. And the wind carrying the arrow. What it said, I am reading from our book now. My dear Lord, some of the fortunate persons who are swimming in the ocean of your nectar of devotion and who are relishing the nectar of narration of your pastime certainly know ecstasies which immediately minimize the value of happiness derived from the religiosity, economic development, and liberation. Such a transcendental devotee regards any kind of happiness other than that of devotional service as no better than a straw in the street. This is Bhavar Deepika. This is the another verse which is quoted in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The wind carrying the aroma of tulsi, which had touched the flumets of the large toenails on his lotus feet, entered their mind through the nostrils and began to agitate their mind and bodies, even though they were fixed in Brahm. These are about the four Kumaras. So for them, Brahma realization was already there, but when they see the only Tasya nayanasya padaravinda kinjalika mishra tulsi makaranda vayuho antragata swavivarena chakara tesham Sankshobham akshagya jusham apichitta tanvo. So all this what we have read in our book, I think we have read in our book very everything completely. So the topic should be Brahm Anand is a item compared to the happiness of pure devotional service. So the heading should be understood correctly. Now this is what is quoted by Sridhar Swami in a Bhavartha Deepika. Tvata katha mrita patho dao viharanto mahamunda mudaha koravanti kirtana kechit chatur varga trino parmam. Some fortunate people play in the sweet ocean of your topics and enjoy the greatest bliss. They consider the happiness from earth, dharma, kam and moksha to be insignificant as grass. Though there are plenty of statements in the scripture like Bhagavatam, which can be quoted, the author has taken this verse from the Bhagavat commentary, Bhavar Deepika of Sridhar Swami, to show that his conclusion are confirmed by realization of Sridhar Swami. So means Rupa Goswami's conclusions are confirmed by Sridhar Swami. So our this fifth quality is over by now. Let us see what is in our slide, which are given to you. Only this verse is given. Second reason for reality of Bhav Bhakti, we have done this. And then the second reason for reality of Bhav Bhakti, this is the translation which we have done already. Sandra Anand Visheshadma, incalculable condensed bills. And the first is Bhakti Sudhodaya, second is Bhavar Deepika. And even translation is not there. Okay, so this is not enough. Only 2 verses are given here. And rest we have to read from our book. Even the first verse, which is of Srila Rupa Goswami himself, is not in our slide. So this part of the slide is not complete actually. There must be one more addition here, right here. First we should write the verse by Rupa Goswami. This one first paragraph here should be added in this. So Sandra Anand Vishesh Atma, the heading we have to really properly understand. It is not merging with Brahm. The merging with Brahm is insignificant as compared to the happiness of condensed bliss of pure devotional service. So are you comfortable with this? Heading needs to be really correctly understood. Is it okay? Now we are going to the last item of this section, the characteristic of pure devotional service. Sri Krishna Akrishani, attract Krishna and his associates. So this is the verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Kirtva harim prem bhajam priya varga samanvitam bhakti Vasi karoti iti Sri Krishna Akrishni mata. This is the definition. Bhakti is called Sri Krishna Akrishni because it makes the Lord addicted to Prem and brings him under control along with his associates. Priya Varga Samanvita. The word Sri in Sri Krishna Akrishni indicate Priya Varga. Priya Varga means Radharani and others, along with his dear associates. Srila Prabhupada on Sri Krishna Akrishani. So this is, we are reading from our commentary. Srila Rupa Goswami has stated that devotional service attract even Krishna. The symbol of devotional service is highest degree in Radharani. In our book you read, Krishna attracts everyone is a one more word. But devotional service attracts Krishna. The symbol of devotional service is highest degree is Radharani. Krishna is called Madan Mohan, which means he is so attractive that he can defeat the attraction of thousands of Cupid. But Radharani is still more attractive, for she can even attract Krishna. Therefore, devotees call her Madan Mohan Mohini, the attractor of Cupid. Right? This is what is the first paragraph of our book, Nectar of Devotion. Srila Prabhupada writes further, to perform devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Radharani. And devotees in Vrindavan put themselves under the care of Radharani in order to achieve perfection in their devotional service. In other words, devotional service is not an activity of the material world, it is directly under the control of Radharani. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that Mahatma are great souls under the protection of Devi Prakriti, the internal energy Radharani. So this is Prabhupada's own comment on this subject. And sometimes people ask, is in Bhagavad Gita, is there anywhere Radharani? Then this is the only place where you can see Radharani. Mahatma nastumam parat devim prakritim ashata bhajate ananya manaso gyatva bhuta dimavyayam. This is chapter 9. So Devi Prakriti here means Radharani. So, being directly under the control of internal potency of Krishna, devotional service attracts even Krishna himself. So, how devotional service attracts Krishna? Because it is under Radharani. Now, here it is a quotation. Now, Srila Prabhupada, now this much is the explanation on the first verse, which is the definition given by Rupa Goswami. Srila Prabhupada has given the whole purport. So that purport is not in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is Prabhupada's own purport. Prabhupada's own purport on what? Prabhupada's own purport is on Sri Krishna Akrishani and Priya Varga Samanvitaha. On these two words, these two paragraphs is Srila Prabhupada's own purport about Sri Krishna Akrishani. And then Srila Prabhupada in our book is giving evidence for this. And the evidence is given from 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 14th chapter, verse number 20. Sasadhyati mam yogo, na sadhyati mam yogo, na sankyam dharma udhava. Na swadhyayastapatyago yatha bhakti mano urjita. My dear Uddhav, the another devotional service in the form of prema bhakti rendered to me by my devotees brings me under their control, mama urjita. Those engaged in a mystic yoga, Sankhya philosophy, pious work, Vedic study, austerity or renunciation cannot thus control me to this extent. So urjita means very strong and intense because of not being covered by jnana or karma, because bhakti is a urjita. In Kartik Mahatma, if you know, Radharani is called Urjeshwari, and Kartik Vrt is called Urja Vrt. So Urjita means very strong and intense, because the pure devotee is not covered by Gyan and Karma. So this is what now we are reading from our book. My dear Uddhav, you may know it from me that the attraction I feel for devotional service rendered by my pure devotees is not to be attained even by the performance of mystic yoga, philosophical speculation, ritualistic sacrifices, or study of Vedanta. The practice of severe austerities or giving everything in charity. These are, of course, very nice activities, but they are not as attracted to me as the transcendental loving service unto me. How Krishna become attracted by devotional service of his devotees is described by Narad in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, verse 48. Okay, 10th 48. This is what Srila Prabhupada. So this one verse is in between. I think the 10th canto verse is right here. Oh no, 10th canto verse is not in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Then Srila Prabhupada has his own purport, rest of the purport, and this is, my dear Maharaj Yudhishthira, all of you are extremely fortunate, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna lives in your place just like a human being. Great saintly person know this very well, and therefore they constantly visit your house. And then the King Yudhishthira was lamenting, Prahlad was, so this is, we will read after a while, because this ends, and Srila Prabhupada has commentary on this in our book, Nectar of Devotion. So let us read our book first. Oh, in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 10th chapter, verse number 48. But before, right. Devotees, Narad Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, this is what this verse we have discussed. 10th chapter, verse number 48 and 49. When Narad addresses Yudhishthira Maharaj, the king, appreciating glories of Maharaj Prahlad, there is one symptom of pure devotional service. Never think himself great, and always think of other devotees are greater than him. The king was thinking Maharaj Prahlad, so this is the quotation. Actually, devotees of Lord, while I am nothing. While thinking this was addressed by Narad as follows: My dear King Yudhishthira, you, the Pandavas brothers, are the only fortunate people in this world. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared in this planet and presenting himself to you as an ordinary human being. He is always with you in all circumstances, and he is living with you and covering himself from the eyes of the others. Others cannot understand that. He is the Supreme Lord, even as your messenger. Therefore, you must know that nobody in this world is more fortunate than you. Now, this is Prabhupada's own commentary in our book. In Bhagavad Gita, this is not in Nectar of Devotion, or this is not in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna appeared in his universal form to Arjuna, and from universal form Arjuna prayed, My dear king, I thought you are my cousin, but I know not, and I disrespected. These are the verses which we will see in our quotation from Bhagavad Gita. He remained with those royal brothers, being attracted by their devotion, by their friendship, and by their love. So Krishna was attracted by their devotion, by their friendship, and by their love. That is the proof how great this process of devotional service is. It can attract even the personality of Godhead. God is great, but the devotional service is greater than God because it attracts him. People who are not in devotional service can never understand what the great value there is in rendering devotional service. Here ends our chapter. We will start the next chapter, but before that we will see our all slides. So, this is the purport of this verse, Krishna Akarshani, the verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. 7th canto. This is the verse. Yuyam nirloke bat bhuri bhagaha lokam punana munayo abhivanti yesham graham avastiti sakshat gudam parbrahm manushya lingam. My dear Yudhishthira Maharaj, all of you are extremely fortunate, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna lives in your place just like a human being. Great saintly persons know this very well, and therefore they constantly visit your house. King Yudhishthira was lamenting. Prahlad was so fortunate that he saw the Lord. We are, however, unfortunate. To pacify him, Narad speak these words to him. You are more fortunate than Prahlad, than even me. Even me, his guru. Then other devotees, then the gurus of the Yadus, then sages such as Vasisht, Marichi, Kashyap and others, Brahma and Shiva. Sages who purify the world by their presence come to your house to make themselves completely successful. Because the secret Supreme Brahma, who actually has an eternal human form, reside in your house without even being called by you, owing to his attraction for you. He does not reside in the house of Prahlad and others, and the sages do not come to their house to make themselves successful by seeing him there. So this is the commentary by Jiva Goswami on this verse. Now we are reading, we will see our own slides. Then I would request we can have some discussion on these topics, and then we can start the next chapter. So Sri Krishna Akarshani, Prem Bhakti attracts Krishna. Why Prem Bhakti is written? Because this only only appears at this stage of Prem Bhakti. Or this is in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu verse. Kirtva Harim Prem Bhajam Priya Vargam Saminvitam. Bhakti is called Sri Krishna Akarshani because it makes the Lord addicted to Prem and brings him under control along with his associates. And Krishna Akarshani continued. These are the words, these are taken the statement from our purport. Symbol of devotion is highest, in highest degree Srimati Radharani. She is the most attractive and is Madan Mohan Mohini. Srimati Radharani is Devi Prakriti, our internal energy of Lord. Performing devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Radharani and to put oneself under her care to achieve perfection. Devotion service is directly under the control of Radharani and can thus attract Krishna. So these are the points from our purport. And then this is simple chart you can just print and hang somewhere in your room to remember Radharani. Greatest devotee who attracts Krishna is Sri Radharani, known as Madan Mohan Mohini. She controlled devotional service. Devotees in Vrindavan put themselves under her care to achieve perfection. Bhagavad Gita says great souls are under Devi Prakriti, that is Krishna, its internal energy, that is Sri Radharani. If under the control of Radharani, devotional service will attract Krishna himself. Devotional service means follow Radharani's footsteps. So these are the few things which as at a glance. Now, only pure devotional service can control Krishna. This is the verse which is quoted, which we read already. Nasadhyate mam yogo. Urjita is the most important word. And this is the verse from Bhagavatam. Nirloke bat bhuri bhaga. So this is also there. And these are the two verses which are in the last part, which is Srila Prabhupada's own purport. Sakheti matva prasabam yadoktam he Krishna he yadav he sakheti ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pramadat pranyena vapi. Bhagavad Gita 11th chapter 41 and 42. Yachavaha sartham asatkirtosi viharasyasan bhojaneshu eko atva pichutat samaksham tataksham etvam aham aparmeyam. So here ends actually this section with this comment. God is the great, but devotional service is greater than God because it attracts him. Here ends and these are the charts of the cycle of the Papa, which we discussed yesterday. Here ends our first chapter. Now I think we should have a 10-minute break, or you discuss among yourself in groups whether you understand all these 6 characteristics, and try to discuss among yourself what are the 6 characteristics and how you understood it. You discuss among yourself, maybe in a group of, I don't know, Brajanandan, can we break them in groups? Hare Krishna, Brajanandan.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We can break them in groups. Even if we can break them in 2 is possible. They can discuss one. They discuss among themselves the whole 6 characteristic or qualities of pure devotional service among themselves for 10 minutes.
Okay, so I break them into 2 groups, Prabhuji.
Not 2 groups. Actually, 2 persons in each group is possible.
Yes, Prabhu, it's possible.
So then you group in such a way that the Matajis, they should be in one section and Prabhus in the other section. That will be easy.
Okay, Prabhu. That is some groups with the 2 Matajis, some groups with 2 Prabhujis, like that?
Yeah, that will be better. Or even you want, you can have 4, that's alright, but 2 will be easy. They can discuss in 10 minutes something at least.
Yes, Prabhu, I'll create it now.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Oh, Krishna Balaram.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಭಜನನಂದನ್ ಪ್ರಭುನ್ ಕೂಗ್ತಾರೆ.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I think why not we discuss here, Prabhu, then? I mean, while waiting.
I think it will be disturbing for the other people.
Yeah. But this
So it's all very a little bit complicated.
Prabhu, you can
Complicated.
carry on discussion.
Okay, now break up Duma coming.
Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna.
break up 3.
Hare Krishna. Remaining devotees, please join your respective breakout rooms.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Prabhu, I'm in which group? Rajendrananda Prabhu?
You would have got an invite, Mataji, for joining a breakout room. You have to click on join.
No, I don't know what did I do.
Okay, I will do it again.
Okay.
Can you put me in some group?
Yes, Prabhuji.
What we have discussed so far?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Are you discussing?
I'm hearing you.
Who is next one with you?
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna,
Achal, who
it's
is
me.
with you?
Ashala.
Huh?
Ashala.
Where is he? Discuss. Let me see what you are doing.
Prashtat start.
Achal, you got this partner?
Prabhu?
You have some partner with you?
Hare Krishna.
Okay, you both are
Hare
partners.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You discuss among yourself the 6 characteristic of devotional, pure devotional service.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, about this.
Chittamadas. What is this? Chittamadas? Chittamadas.
Chitatmadas is me. Chitatmadas.
Chitatmadas. Okay, Chitatmadas. So you discuss, you speak something among yourself.
Yeah, we have done the 6 characteristics of devotional service.
You discussed everything?
We have- Yes.
Why devotional service is very rare to attend?
Because he attracts Krishna
Okay.
itself. And Krishna doesn't want to give it out easily. Because he attracts, and the energy is owned by Radharani. It's controlled by Radharani, Ladni Shakti.
Well, that is what you are
So if you
discussing.
are pure,
Okay.
if you are pure devotional devotee, you can control Krishna. So it's very difficult to attend because if you have that, you will control Krishna.
Okay.
It's not an easy thing to.
So Krishna don't give it easily because Krishna is controlled by pure devotional service. Okay, this is right.
Yeah.
So what are the 6 qualities? You can say, you can remember 6 qualities of pure devotional service without looking in your book? That is what you discuss among yourself actually. At least what are the 6 qualities first?
Number 1 is Klesha Gni.
Yes, Klesha Gani.
That you mean that pure devotional service put an end to all sufferings.
Yes, this is number 1.
Number 3 is Subhada.
Shubhada, right. All auspicious.
Devotional service creates all auspiciousness.
Yes.
Number 3 is Moksha Lagunta.
Moksha lagu kirta. Laguta kirta. Making liberation insignificant. Yes. Number 4.
Number 5 is rarely achieved. Devotional service is rarely achieved. I forgot the Sanskrit name.
Yes, Durlabha. Okay, so Durlabha. And number 5.
Number 5, devotional service is bring condensed bliss.
Condensed bliss. Sandranand Visheshatma.
And number 6 is Shri Krishna. Devotional service attract even Krishna.
What is the meaning of Shri? What is the meaning of Shri? Shri Krishna Akrishana. Shri means?
Shri means Lord.
Shri means associate of Krishna. Actually Radharani. Okay. Thank you. Discuss yourself.
Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, should I put you in another group now?
Yeah, for a while, let us see.
Oh, you are muted, Prabhu.
Okay. Yeah, put me some, let's see what they are doing.
Okay, Prabhu.
Practicing. It's like going deeper much more.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
we move to the next quality. Beginning of all auspiciousness.
Yeah.
How's your understanding on this topic?
Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. You can share first your understanding with this Mataji, if it's all right with you.
Yeah, when we talk about this, we can see because the law, the almighty law is super power. So everywhere when law appears, and we hear from the kata, and we hear from the pure devotees, and then everywhere Lord Krishna appears, there is all auspicious. So that is how to understand this quality. Yeah. So you see, you remember when Lord Krishna appeared in
Prabhu is here. Yeah,
very, very good. You have done the first one. The all suffering are mitigated by devotional service. Second is Shubhada, which means all auspicious. But your understanding should be auspicious is only something when it has 4 things. 4 things make something auspicious. So that you must remember what are the 4 subheading of the auspiciousness.
4 subheadings.
4 subheading of auspiciousness.
Yes.
Can you remember Mataji the 4 subheadings of auspiciousness?
Yeah, can I say?
Hare Krishna Shama Mataji. You can share also Mataji if you want.
With the 4 headings are compassion for everyone, attract everyone, produces good qualities, and bestows superior happiness.
Oh yeah, I remember we discussed about that one. Yes.
These are the 4 headings.
Yes, I am just trying to find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This you can find in your PPT.
Yeah.
These are the 4 headings you must remember. And the 4th heading, which is a separate heading in our book, the pure devotional service, give all happiness. And then we have a many quote in that about that happiness.
I found it already.
3 types of happiness.
Yes.
But actually, the teacher Sarvabhauma Prabhu said there is still one more, that is happiness came from the mystic power. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also fourth one. Yes, 4 type. So now you remember like this auspiciousness has 4 subheading, and similarly, similarly the happiness has 4 subheading also.
Happiness is
Happiness from the sense enjoyment, happiness from merging in Brahm, happiness from
and from serving the Lord, happiness realized from serving the Lord.
and the one is happiness from the mystic powers.
Yeah. So it comes for yeah.
And there are 8 mystic perfections which Srila Prabhupada elaborately discussed by name.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what is the number 5? Item number 5?
Item number 5, you mean the quality 5?
Yes.
To pure devotional service, automatically put one in transcendental pleasure, give one breaks. Yeah.
Oh, this is not actually number. This is number 5. We are number 5, number 4 now. We should be number 4 now. Moksha Laguta Kirt, we have done Moksha Laguta Kirt, right? No, we are in Subhada. Still, we are in Subhada, which was on. What is number 3?
Subhada.
Number 3 is pure devotional service, derive even the concept of liberation.
Yes. So there are only 2-3 quotes in that the liberation is significant, like a servant of a devotion. We have this. And what is number 4?
And number 4 is pure devotional service is rarely achieved.
Rarely achieved, and there are 2 reasons. And there are 2 reasons why it is rarely achieved.
Yeah.
And number 5 is
Sandra Nanda Vishesh Atma.
condensed bliss.
Condensed
bliss. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a happiness of a pure devotional service is trillion times more than the Brahmanand of merging in the Brahma. Okay, and what is the last one? What is the last one?
Pure devotional service attracts Krishna.
Sri Krishna Akarshani. And who is the one who attracts Krishna?
Radharani.
Radharani, yes.
Internal energy.
Yes. So you remember the 6 name? What are the 6 qualities? Are the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service? And the 4 subheading of the Shubhada, and the 4 subheading of the happiness of the Shubhada. This much at least you should know. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, one question is there. Prabhuji, this first 4 are in Bhav Bhakti or the center 2 ones are in Bhav Bhakti?
Well, this we'll discuss right now after this. We'll discuss now.
Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
One more group and then we end, I think.
You are muted, Prabhu.
Yeah, one more group and then we end the groups.
Okay, so you want to go to another group?
Yeah, one more group. Let's see what's going on. Nicely made groups, huh?
This we have to ask him once again. Please explain the 5th one. And the 6th one is Sri Krishna Akashani, attracting Krishna. That is the Prema Bhakti. That's all glories to Radharani. That devotional service attracts even Krishna. Krishna attracts everyone, but devotional service attracts Krishna because devotional service is the highest degrees. The highest degree of devotion is to Radharani. So whatever his internal Krishna is called Madan Mohan, and she is called Madan Mohan Mohini. Radharani is more attractive, and to perform devotional service means to follow the footsteps of Radharani and the Acharyas.
In this,
In
like,
Vrindavan.
at this stage of prema that we are able to attract.
Yes, and Radharani, in order to achieve perfection in the devotional service, and in other words, devotional service is not an activity of the material world. It is totally activity of spiritual, because it comes under the jurisdiction of Radharani, internal energy.
So what are
Prabhuji is here. Actually, we can
Great
ask
souls are.
Mataji.
what are the
Prabhuji has just joined our group.
Prabhuji is here.
what
So
are
Prabhuji
the
actually.
yes? So what are the four what are the four headings of the Shubhada?
Please, you have to.
What are the four subheading of Shubhada?
Welfare of all, attractive to all, produces good qualities, and bestows superior happiness.
And what are the four subdivision of a superior happiness?
There is happiness derived from material enjoyment, happiness derived by identifying oneself with Supreme Brahman, happiness derived from the Krishna consciousness.
The one more is happiness derived from Yoga Siddhis.
Yoga Siddhas.
For you it is easy to remember happiness of karmis, happiness of jnanis, happiness of yogis, and happiness of bhakta.
Okay, right.
Yeah, first is karmis, second is jnani, third is yogi, and fourth is bhakta.
Thank you.
Okay.
Prabhuji, actually the fifth
Prabhuji.
one, could you explain in a condensed list, that's Sandrananda?
Sandra Anand Visheshatma, yes? So condensed
Yes,
bills is
Prabhuji again, please.
Sandranand Visheshatma. There are three quotes in our book. One is by Srila Rupa Goswami that the happiness of merging with Brahm is it's insignificant as compared to trillion times more happiness of the pure devotional service. So this is the Rupa Goswami himself said, and then there are two more quotes from Bhagavatam that happiness derived from the Brahma Anand is like a hoof print of a calf, water, and the happiness of the pure devotional service is like an ocean. So these are the two quotations simply to give the evidence about the Sandra Anand Visheshatma, or the incalculated condensed bliss. There are only three quotations, one by Rupa Goswami and two more from the Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam or some, what are these two quotations? Prahlad Maharaj from Bhagavatam. Hari Bhakti Sudodhya, and the other one is, there one more. Bhagavatam, right.
Bhavartha Deepika. Bhavartha Deepika.
Bhavartha Deepika. Okay, this is a commentary by Sridhar Swami. Commentary by Sridhar Swami. Okay. Is this useful? This discussion is useful? At least you remember these six quickly. That is better. Okay.
Yes, lovely. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. Class hale pe
Okay.
I'll come
up.
11 o'clock.
You recognize me na from Nector from Dubai.
Yare.
Hare Krishna. Chaitanya.
Miluda.
कल ही मैं आया हूँ
Oh, हाँ? अच्छा, welcome.
वेलकम हरे कृष्ण आपका क्लास अटेंड करता हूँ डेली नित्य भागवत से दुबई का
हरि बोल.
आशीर्वाद कर वेलकम
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna, welcome, you are all back.
Yes, Prabhu. Shall I close the breakout rooms?
I think it's enough. Or shall I go to one more?
Oh, okay. Shall I put you in one more then?
Yeah, put me one more. Let's see what they are doing.
Okay.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So,
Dhanas Pranam.
oh, Chaturbhuja Neela Gopa, what are you discussing?
Yeah. Yeah, we are discussing that characteristics of pure devotional service, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have question, Prabhuji. Doubt.
Yes.
How the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service related to the 3 type of devotional service?
That we will discuss after this breakup guru.
Okay,
that is the second chapter.
Okay. Thank you.
That is second chapter.
We are discussing the 6 characteristics of devotional service like lessening.
So, can you enumerate all these 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You tell 2. Your second partner will tell. How many? You are 2 only or 3?
We are 3, Prabhu, but we can tell, no problem.
Okay.
So first.
Yeah, you tell, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a Klesh Agni, Prabhuji. First one, the Klesh Agni, and the second one is the Subhada.
Klesh Agni Subhada. What is the English word for that?
For Klesh Agni, relief from material distress. It relieves from the material distress.
Very good. And
Subhada means all auspicious.
And what are the 4 subheading of Subhada?
Yeah, it has 4 kinds of. It gives 4 kinds of auspiciousness to it. The first one, it gives happiness of mystic. No, actually, it gives happiness from the material environment. Subhada.
There are 4 subheading of Subhada.
Yeah. So. It's a welfare for all.
Yes.
Like the Praninam, welfare for all.
Praninam. Auspicious for all, attracts all good qualities and all happiness. And the happiness is again of 3 types or 4 types.
Yeah, happiness of 3 types. Happiness from material enjoyment, happiness from identifying oneself with Brahman, and happiness realized by serving the devotees.
But then we have added the 1/4 in that category. You remember? Happiness from mystic siddhis, mystic perfections. Yeah. So you can say happiness of the karmi, happiness of jnani, happiness of yogi. They are insignificant as compared to the happiness of a devotee.
Okay.
Sense gratification means karmi. Emerging in Brahma is jnani, and the yogis have siddhis. So karmi, jnani, and yogis are insignificant as compared to the devotee happiness. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay,
yeah.
I think we should go immediately now. Start something. Okay.
Thank you, Brody.
Recording in progress.
Now let us break the group. Let them come back.
Okay, Prabhuji.
You are all back?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
You enjoyed this?
Yes, sir, we are back.
You enjoyed? I could not come in all, at least I came to 4 groups I entered. So, at least this is for you to memorize things very quickly, that's for that purpose.
Yes.
Okay, we are now continuing a little further. Six qualities of Uttama Bhakti, how they are in 3 type of Bhakti, because we have to discuss 3 type of Bhakti. For that I think we will soon see, but at least now you see Sadhan Bhakti has 2 first qualities, Kleshagni and Shubhada. Then Bhav Bhakti has Moksha Laghuta Kirta and Sudurlabha, but along with you see the green line, it is including the first 2 also. And the Prema Bhakti has the 2 Sandra Anand Vishesh Atma and Sri Krishna Akarshani, which includes all 6.
So where is this, Prabhuji, in the book?
Oh, we will read the 2nd chapter.
Okay.
And qualification for understanding Uttama Bhakti. Even if one has a little taste for the topic of Bhakti, he can understand it. He who tries to understand Bhakti by dry logic cannot understand it, because logic is insubstantial. This is actually in this first wave according to Srila Rupa Goswami. This much is in first wave. So now we are going in our slides in chapter 2. So here in chapter 2,
Chapter 2 is second wave, Prabhuji, right?
now second wave will start after 2 paragraphs actually. Well, this is chapter 2, first stage of devotional service. This is Srila Prabhupada giving all these headings. In Nectar of Devotion, there are only 4 waves. 4 waves. So we will go to the second wave next week. But in second chapter, there is some portion of the first wave. So the first wave portion is like this. This portion is of the first wave. 3 categories of pure devotional service are Uttam Bhakti. Uttam Bhakti has 3 categories: Sadhan Bhakti, devotional service in practice; Bhav Bhakti, devotional service in ecstasy; Prema Bhakti, devotional service in love of God. Now this Sadhan Bhakti is further of 2 types. VIHE Sadhan Bhakti, devotional service according to the regulative principles, and Rag Anoga Sadhan Bhakti, spontaneous devotional service. So this is one way this is the way in our book. The Bhakti is Sadhan Bhakti, Bhav Bhakti and Prem Bhakti. Now we will discuss this separately again, every aspect again. But in first wave, the next topic is like this: 3 categories of the pure devotional service, Uttam Bhakti, in relation to 6 characteristics of Uttam Bhakti. So the first 2 are in Sadhan Bhakti. Bhav Bhakti have all 4, it means 2 more added, and Prem Bhakti have all 6. Is it clear? Is it clear, Prabhus?
Yes, Prabhu.
Now if you open the second chapter, and in second chapter, first paragraph, 3 categories of devotional service. And then Prabhupada writes, and there are subheading, and these subheading are subheading of the Vaidhi sadhan and Raganuga sadhan. There are many subheadings. There are Raganuga sadhan and Vaidhi sadhan. Now Prabhupada writes, there are 2 different qualities. Devotional service in ecstasy has 4 qualities, and devotional service in pure love has 6 qualities. Can you understand now this line? First paragraph, you understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
2, 4, 6,
Yes, sir.
2, 4, 6, now you understand? 2 in sadhan bhakti, 4 in bhav bhakti, and 6 in prem bhakti.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now, because as such you read, it will not be clear. Now it's clear?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Now next paragraph. This is actually in a first wave who is eligible for Uttam Bhakti. And that is the verse which we have seen there. Now Srila Prabhupada writes, in this connection Srila Rupa Goswami suggests that the person eligible for Krishna consciousness or devotional service can be classified by his particular taste, which means ruchi. This ruchi is different. I am going for a while to the previous slide to make it clear. Hare Krishna, where are we? This is the qualification to understand bhakti. What Srila Prabhupada writes, classified by particular taste. Swalap api ruchi, the word is ruchi in the original text of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay? He says that devotional service is a continual process from one's previous life. No one can take devotional service unless one had some previous connection with it. For example, suppose in this life I practice devotional service to some extent, even though it is not 100% perfectly performed. Whatever I have done will not be lost. In my next life, from the very point where I stop in this life, I shall begin again. In this way, there is always a continuity. But even if there is no continuity, if one by chance a person takes interest in pure devotional service, anyway, he can be accepted and can advance in devotional service. Anyway, for person who have a natural taste for understanding books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is easier than those who are having mental speculation and dry argument. This is the next verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu actually. So, ruchi or taste in this verse means taste for scripture like Srimad Bhagavatam that present the true nature of bhakti. The taste arises from the previous impressions. The ruchi lets one understand the nature of bhakti, the highest position of bhakti. Bhakti, tattva, bodhika, logic, yukti, which is dry, kevala, without ruchi cannot give an understanding of bhakti. However, logic along with full taste for topic of bhakti can give an understanding of it. So this is the first way Sri Rupa Goswami is ending like that. A person more skillful at logic can bring about conclusion different from that what was carefully proven previously by another skillful person. Taraka pratishthanat, logic brings insubstantial. Being insubstantial can prove opposite. Vedanta Sutra. So here ends actually the first wave of devotional service. Now we see what is in our slide here. Okay. Now Srila Prabhupada's book. To support this statement, there are many authoritative. Say logician, and this is what Prabhupada says. Logic and conclusion cannot. Same thing. It goes to the next page. Up till this is a first wave. This next paragraph. To support this statement, there are many authoritative assertion by the learned scholar of bygone ages. According to the general opinion, a person may become governed by certain conviction derived by his own argument and decision. Then another person who may be greater logician will nullify these conclusions and establish another thesis. In this way, the path of argument will never be safe or conclusive. Srimad Bhagavatam recommends therefore that one should follow the footsteps of authorities. Now, here is the general description of devotional service given by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Previously, it has been stated that devotional service can be divided into the three categories. Namely, so from here, actually start the second wave. Is it okay? So what we have learned today is three types of bhakti and 6 characteristics, how they appear in each. Now this is a something simply for your information. Each of these 3 stages of pure devotional service characterized by particular type of happiness. Sadhan bhakti has a shubhada happiness. Bhav bhakti has moksha laghukarta happiness. Prem bhakti has sandra anand vishesh atma happiness. So these are the 3 types of happiness. Each type of bhakti, each category of bhakti has a happiness. Now this is simply information. Now this is what we have discussed now. Eligibility for performing devotional service. See here, impression of bhakti from previous lives, many lives. These impressions give rise to ruchi, taste for bhakti. It means taste in the scripture. That will lead to the practice of bhakti. Bread देगा वो, उसको बोलना अंदर पड़िए तो चिन देगा. वो तो कितना किसका? लाएगा 4. Okay, sorry. So ruchi will lead to practice of bhakti, but actually what is most important? Then from practice of bhakti, it will go in next life again. The impression it will continue. But only bhakti will start when pure devotee's instruction. So if somebody asks you this question, who is eligible for bhakti? The one who come in contact with the pure devotee. And if he has previous impression, he will be quickly benefited. So most important eligibility is association of devotee. That will help to those who have impression from bhakti from previous lives. And what is the proof that he has an impression? That he has a taste or ruchi for the bhakti, which means scripture like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And then if he takes the instruction of pure devotee, then he can start bhakti. So that is what, up till this, what we have discussed now. Now is a definition of sadhan bhakti that we will start next time. You just finish up till now. Second wave we will start. Actually, in fact, tomorrow. Now we can discuss something if you like.
Yes, Prabhu, from the question bank.
Yeah, we can now we can discuss some question bank or something, whatever you like. Because next time we'll discuss what is sadhan bhakti, what is definition of sadhan bhakti, what are the type of sadhan bhakti, and then in this way the second chapter, the whole second chapter we will be able to maybe do. Next week we will do the eligible say this one portion, the first stage of devotional service, then the eligibility of the candidate for devotional service. So these two chapters next week we must finish. Then the third chapter, I think, second and third chapter we will discuss, right? And fourth chapter is also we will finish, because it has nothing, only some quotations, nothing more. So next week we will do the 3 chapters. Is it okay?
Prabhuji, can you give an overview of the waves, Prabhuji? What are the different waves, like an overview?
If you remember, we have the 4 waves. First wave is Samanya Bhakti, second wave is a Sadhan Bhakti, third wave is a Bhav Bhakti, fourth wave is a Prem Bhakti. This we have given in a Granth Vibhag, or the portion of the book, in a first day or second day. Second day in introduction, there are 4 ways. There are 4 portions of the Nectar, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The eastern, we are discussing only eastern side, and eastern side has 4 waves. And the name of the eastern side is Bhakti Bhav. Bhagavat Bhakti Bhed. And there are 4 waves: Samanya Bhakti, Sadhan Bhakti, Bhav Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. Okay? What are the question banks now? Questions? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Question number 17, 18 and 19. Please guide.
Okay, 17, 18 and 19. What are the 17, 18 and 19? Let us see.
So we need to explain, give the explanation.
Sorry?
Do we need to explain the points also of 17 number question?
Let me see. I have not seen this question yet. Viljendra Nandan. We have Brijendra Nandan. How is Brijendra Nandan? Oh, he sent me. Will you read the question? I have to find the question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
No, your name is spelled, because I have to find out. You have sent me all these questions. Your name is spelled like? How you spell your name?
No, here in the Zoom group.
No, Virjendra Nandan, you sent me on a WhatsApp.
Yes, I sent it by WhatsApp, Prabhuji.
So your name you sent like spelling like?
VRAJEN.
VRA.
VRA, okay.
JEN.
VRA.
VRA.
VRAJ. I don't know what the problem. Oh,
You must have typed BRA.
V, Prabhuji.
You must have saved by BRA, no? You check that.
Virjavallabi. I don't know why it's not coming. Maybe I have differently spelled him. I have written VIRJ. Okay. So, question number? Question number, which question number?
Okay, shall I send it again now, Prabhuji?
No, I got it. List and explain the 2 qualities of the 4th characteristic of the pure devotional service. This one?
This Prabhuji Shubhada.
List and explain the two qualities. List and explain the two qualities of the fourth characteristic of the pure devotional service, which means Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha. And the two qualities, what are the two? One is only by pure devotional help of mercy of the devotion, no attraction. And then one quote from Tantra Shastra, and the other one is a quote from Bhagavatam, and Krishna don't give because Krishna is is controlled by that. That you take it, you can take from the slide, which is perfectly all right.
That is Narad to Yudhishthira, that example.
Yeah, that is so Durlabha is a Bhagavatam is a Maharaj, Narad to the Yudhishthira Maharaj, and the Tantra Shastra. Tantra Shastra is in the first.
Lord Shiva to Sati.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, question number 18 and 19. Can you guide?
18. How does karma does? Actually, this yesterday I was in VIHE. I was saying this. This is not separate. I don't understand what it means. Why it is like that? How does karma does not fully destroy the cycle of sin? Actually, karma. This section is actually the seed of the material desire is not destroyed by ritualistic activities and gyan. See, both should be there. This is the topic of Ajamil is actually example. Because Ajamil was doing all the rituals of the karma kand. And he was also jnani actually, but he was still the desires were there. So these both, I don't know why they are two separate. I think you check with the VIHE why they have. Because next, I would say the next should be how does Gyan does not fully destroy the cycle of not, because even somebody is a Gyan, but the ignorance will not be destroyed, which means the next topic, the avidya will only be destroyed by bhakti, not by the Gyan. So avidya cannot be destroyed by Gyan. It can be only destroyed by bhakti. And there are two quotes there. One is the female demon serpents by the forest fire, and the one is from Bhagavatam also. These are the two quotes. So actually third and fourth part of our the devotional service destroy the seed of the sinful desire, and devotional service destroy the avidya or ignorance. These are the two, I would say it should be in that sense. How karma does not fully destroy? Okay. How does bhakti destroy each of these stages of the cycle of sin? This actually cycle of sin is the chart we have, a prarabdha, kuta, bij and prarabdha. That is the continuity, and bhakti destroy all by the Padma Puran's verse is the answer. This question number 17 is a Padma Purana verse, and that chart a prarabdha, kuta, bij and prarabdha.
Prabhuji, which quote from Padma Puran? Which quote from Padma Puran?
Padma Puran's verse, Padma Puran says this, all this. In our book, Padma Puran's quote in a Klesha Gani portion, which we have discussed. There are 4 items. Prabhupada has written number 1, 2, 3, 4. That portion. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, question number 12 and 13. What the idea about that?
12
and 13.
How are the 6 characteristics of the pure devotional service related to the 3 types of devotion? Just we have shown you the chart.
We have just done it.
Sadhan Bhakti 2, Bhav Bhakti 2 plus 2, and Prem Bhakti 4 plus 2. Just we have that chart.
So this way only we have to write?
This is how are the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service related to the 3 types of, yeah, this is what the whole chart you have to make. That's what is asked. How are the 3 types?
13th number.
How are the three type of devotional service related to the stages of the practice and perfection of the devotional service? Why this is in chapter 1, I don't know. This is actually, now we will discuss in chapter 2. How are the three, which one we are doing, number 4?
13.
Oh, sorry, 13. How are the three types of devotional service, which means sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti and prem bhakti, related to the stages of the practice of practice and perfection? In practice there is sadhan bhakti. Now, because we will discuss it, then you will know tomorrow actually. Let me tell you now this much only. There are, say, we have just given you the three stages of bhakti. Sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti and prem bhakti. You got it? Now I am telling you a different way to say the same thing. We have two type of bhakti, if I say. Sadhan bhakti and siddha bhakti. Devotion in practice and devotion in perfection. The bhakti can be divided, devotion in practice and devotion in perfection. Can you see these two words here? In question number 13 or 14 or 13, practice, perfection and practice, can you see? Okay. Now the devotion in practice is of two types. Devotion in practice is of two types. Vaidhi sadhan bhakti, raganuga sadhan bhakti. And devotion in perfection is of all two type also. Bhav bhakti and prem bhakti. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Devotion and practice is of two types, the Vaidhi and Raganuga. And devotion in perfection is of two types, Bhav and Prem. So this can be the another way to classify the devotion. Uttama Bhakti, pure devotional service. Okay?
So that second one is called devotion in perfection.
Yes, perfection means already ready. You have not to practice it. Like Bhav Bhakti is already there in the heart. You have not to practice it.
So that comes as Samanya Bhakti, Prabhuji, and the other one is Sadhana Bhakti.
No Samanya, nothing here Samanya. Uttama Bhakti, Uttana Bhakti has two divisions, Sadhan Bhakti and Siddha Bhakti. Siddha Bhakti. Sadhan means practice, Siddha means perfection. So one chart can be like that, Sadhan Bhakti and Siddha Bhakti. Sadhan Bhakti is of two types, Siddha Bhakti is of two types. That will be the another chart can be like that. We will discuss next class why the Prem Bhakti and Bhav Bhakti are separate, why they cannot be together. So we will discuss the reasons for that separately. But now this is the answer to this question.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay. And the rest are, I think all our questions are very simple, which is third character, fifth character, sixth character. So that is very simple, right? Chapter number 2, how does one become eligible to take devotional service? Impression from previous life and taste for the books like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and most important is association of devotee and accepting his instruction. What is the definition of sadhana bhakti? That we will do next time. Okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, thank you so much.
So you finish all these topics, Revati Dari. Are you understanding, Revati?
Yes, Prabhuji, I am trying to understand.
Yeah, everybody has to speak. Okay, so Krishna bless you all.